Reggae Just Extra with Ras Dennis.
In the early 80s, after the passing of Bob Marley, many reggae lovers were impatient for a new star that embodied Marley's rebel style and roots reggae sound. Then, they got Winston Foster aka Yellowman, an albino who delivered rebelliousness through an irreverent, comic, catchy style over an assertive new sound named dancehall. Although political concerns drove some of his songs, what most steered them was his ribald lyrics termed slackness in Jamaica, which propelled him to global fame, and, perhaps, helped shift how some people saw albinos. Known for songs such as Rub and Go Down, Mr. Chin, Lost Me Love, Nobody Move, Nobody Get Hurt, and Sensimilla. Winston Foster and many other albinos in Jamaica were treated as outcasts in the 80s, and they were shunned on buses and from public spaces. For someone like Winston Foster, he was often mistreated, abused physically, and made alien scorned as if he were a leper whose condition was contagious. Foster faced untold abuses. People used to call him all types of names, and he was even turned away from all the major studios, including Joe Gibbs, Channel One, Music Works, Aquarius, Sonic Sounds, Dynamic Sounds, just because of his skin color. This is the untold story of King Yellowman with Ras Dennis.
This is Reggae Just Extra, your #1 entertainment channel.
The musical sounds called Barnabas Killing.
During an interview with Stranger Guide, Winston Foster aka King Yellowman said when he was a baby, his parent abandoned him in a shopping bag inside a trash can, and that it took the grace of God for a garbage collector to find him and then took him to Maxfield Park Children's Home. From there he moved to another orphanage home called Swift Purcell. After a few years there, he moves to Alpha Boys Home, and from Alpha Boys Home, he moves to Eventide Home, a home for people who were neglected. While at Eventide Home, he starts to develop the music thing. He decided to go to the studios, and then he got turned away from all the major recording studio from Joe Gibbs, Channel One, Music Works, Aquarius, Sonic Sounds, Dynamic Sounds, just because of his skin color. He was disrespected at some point, discriminated against, ripped off, and turned away from studios.
Discriminated, abused, and called only by name and all them things.
While he was still at Eventide, Yellowman heard about a competition called the Tasty Talent Contest, and he decided to give it a try in 1979 with a song called Barnabas Killing. He was the crowd favorite, but he somehow became the 4th position. After the competition, he became a DJ on the sound systems Black Scorpio and Gemini before moving to Aces International. His counterparts were Lone Ranger with Soul to Soul, Johnny Ringo with Gemini, Brigadier Jerry with Jah Love, Super Cat, Ninja Man with Kilimanjaro, Josie Wales, Charlie Chaplin, and Daddy Uroy with Kingster Grav. Yellowman was approached by Henry Junjo Laws shortly after his performance at the competition because he, Junjo, had heard people talking about Yellowman. The popular word that went round was Little Dundas Boy come on stage and him mash it up. Joe Gibbs sent a message to Yellowman asking him to come over to his studio, but Yellowman replied to him by saying, "No, me remember when him turned me out, remember when Channel One turned me out." But Channel One did have some rhythms that he could not resist then, so he went to Channel One to make 2 albums, Mad Over Me and one Yellowman End of the World, before going to Junjo. According to Yellowman, Junjo used to produce Barrington Levy at that time, and it was Barrington Levy and other people who told Junjo to consider working with him. They said, "Yellowman, that Dundas boy is wicked. You have to record him." In 1982, he released the album Mr. Yellowman, followed by Zungo Zungo Zing in 1983, earning instant success. Yellowman's sexually explicit lyrics in popular songs such as Mad Over Me, Boasting, like other reggae singers and DJs of his sexual prowess, earned Yellowman criticism in the mid-1980s. In response, he has proclaimed, "I never know why they call it slackness. I talk about sex, but it's just what happens behind closed doors. What I talk is reality." During his time at Aces, Yellowman would often perform at live shows with Vernon Fathead Rainford, whom which he would collaborate in some studio releases over the following years. Overall, the 1980s were Yellowman's most productive decade, going on to release around 20 albums under different labels, such as Mr. Yellowman, Duppy or Gunman, Bad Boy Skanking, Zunga Zunga Using, among others. He appeared in Jamaican dancehall Volcano High Power in 1983, which featured other major dancehall musicians such as Massive Dread, Josie Wales, Burrow Banton, and Eka Mouse. His 1984 release and debut under the Columbia label proper, King Yellowman, was met with negative reception and proved a commercial failure. Yellowman was persuaded to incorporate elements from rhythm and blues and disco, which did not please international dancehall fans. Ultimately, CBS dropped Yellowman, who returned to his classic rhythms and slackness, and his career quickly recovered. Yellowman had success in 1987 with a version of Blueberry Hill that topped the charts for several weeks in Jamaica. He had met Fats Domino when the American performed on the island earlier in the decade, and Domino had presented him with a copy of his version. By the mid-1990s, Yellowman released socially conscious material, rising to international fame along with singers such as Buju Banton. He became the island's most popular DJ and the first dancehall artist to be signed to a major American label, Columbia Records. During the early 1980s, Yellowman had over 40 singles and produced up to 5 albums per year. Foster reinvented himself with his 1994 album Prayer, which stepped away from the slackness that gave him his initial fame in favor of a more religious theme as a way to thank God for his success in music as well as in surviving cancer. Yellowman continues to perform internationally with his Sagittarius band and has toured through places such as Nigeria, where he retains a following of fans, as well as Spain, Peru, Sweden, Italy, Germany, Britain, France, Kenya, the United States, and Canada. He was awarded the Order of Distinction, Officer Class, by the Jamaican government in 1998. That's all we got for you in this episode. Thanks for watching, and do remember to subscribe, give it a like, and post a positive comment in the comment section below, and I'll see you again very soon for another crucial video.
Many thanks for watching Reggae Just Extra with Ras Dennis.